I have a little ready.
I think books, I printed the list out.
Okay.
I printed the list out, but it's just so funny. That's a nice way to see it.
Okay, very good. All right.
Oh, all right.
Good morning. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Preston County Commission. Today is February 1st, believe it or not, and it is 9:30, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all three commissioners are present: Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Price, Commissioner Stone. And do we have anyone from the public to be recognized? Okay. Take a review of the bills.
Move to pay the bills that are properly presented and approved today.
I'll second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bills that have been reviewed and presented. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes. Move on to Connie, our assessor. Do you have anything today?
I do not
Okay.
have any corrections. I do have an announcement. Is that what you want?
We'll get to that in just a second. Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
I'm Dwayne.
All right, Dwayne.
Okay. Dwayne had they're having a software update, so he asked me to present his, budget revision. He's basically asking to transfer $24,100 from extra help and $23,200 from equipment and put both of those in overtime. Because of COVID, they've had a lot of absences, so that's needed. You have one to the best of my knowledge, Clark, Connie, do you have anything? To the best of my knowledge, that's the only budget revision.
Okay.
Okay, well, at this time, then I make a motion that we approve this budget revision from the OEM 911.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the budget revision presented by Dwayne. OEM 911 budget. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes. All right, Connie, that brings us to you with your special announcement.
Okay. We are going to be going through a week-long training for IS, and there are 2 days that I'm going to feel it necessary to close our office to public traffic, but be open by appointment only, and that is for the days of March 7th and March 10th. We will be operating 7:30 to 9 to be able to take care of any concerns that need to be taken care of at that time. And we will be in contact with Jennifer to have that communication with her if she needs anything immediately.
Okay.
Okay?
Are we publishing that in the paper?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah, I
it
saw
is
your
going to be
email
in the
saying
public,
you did.
published in the paper. I've
We'll put it on the
actually
website.
Yes, the Facebook page and on the website,
Website.
and we'll put it on the radio.
Perfect.
Hey, Connie, if you'll send me exactly what you want me to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'd like to get the minutes approved.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for January 11th, 19th, and 25th.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes for January 11th, 19th, and 25th, 2022. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the PIVs and accept them into the record for January 20th through the 26th.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to dispense with the reading of the proceedings and vacation and enter them into record for January 20th, 2022 through January 26th, 2022. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes.
I have one estate from the clerk's office, we approve that estate for Margie Miller.
I will second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the estate settlements from the clerk's office, January 21st through January 21st, 2022 for Miller. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes.
I did that backwards. Commissioner Price,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
yes. Sorry about that. All right, brings us down to our old business, and there is none other than our just ever revolving CARES funding.
Okay, I do have something on care
Yes.
for you this morning.
Okay.
If you remember, I told you that I would provide you a new spreadsheet. And this is just to let you know the expenditures to date.
Okay.
So let's just go down briefly, just so you know where all your projects, whoops, I'm sorry, stand. Still waiting on the tasers. They have gotten caught up in the supply chain.
Right.
So we're waiting on that. The clerk still has $5,320 remaining on her materials and supplies and personnel. You have $3,176 remaining in your administrative costs. The assessor is still waiting on her tablet. She has $2,667.22 remaining.
Okay.
The sheriff's fleet is already taken care of. On your EMS, that's all taken care of. You had allocated $72,036, and the actual expenditures were $66,810. So you have $5,226 there.
Okay.
For your fire departments, you have Reedsville in your box for approval today. You've had Albright, Kingwood, and now Reedsville. For $60,000, you have $180,000 remaining there. The dive team, you have paid for their sonar, $5,500, you have $4,500 left. So you can see that you've allocated $470,444, and you have about $451,000 that has not been requested to date.
Thank
So I
you.
hope that's helpful to you.
Yes. Anything else on CARES funding today?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Everybody good? All right. We'll move on to our new business. We have an application for all-terrain vehicle use on Preston County roads, submitted by the Preston County Parks and Recreation for an event being held June 4th and 5th.
I believe that's similar to the event they had last year.
Yeah. Mhm.
Time of event 9 to 1, approximate number of ATVs 100. And it has been signed off on by the sheriff, Dwayne Hamilton with emergency management, and then of course from Parks and Rec.
Okay. I make a motion at this time to approve this application.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve and authorize the president to sign the application for the all-terrain vehicle use on Preston County roads submitted by Preston County Parks and Recreation. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Price,
Yes.
yes. All right, brings us to our administrator's report. Kathy?
The first item I have is the discussion of your job descriptions. I sent you back and forth everything that Dawn had suggested. If you have anything else, I really need it today. So if you will email me any changes so that I can get those finally completed. I think that I've given you all the changes that we have. So if you all have any, just get those to me. Our next step on that will be the financial side. I gave you a couple proposals, and we really need to decide on which way you want to go. You've got some ideas on salaries and such. I will tell you that in my proposal, it was a 2-month look for you to have people to come in while I'm still here.
Well, I think
So-
that's probably.
Yeah, and I think financially
The best
that
idea.
makes more sense. So on that, now, one of the things we're running into now is it's getting to be budget time. So your meetings are going to be packed with presenters, people requesting funding. Also, I always like to get your vendors in here and give you an update on what's going on. So the next 8 weeks are gonna be busy. So just a reminder on that, because our meeting next week is canceled. So, the next opportunity for us to have any kind of work session is gonna be on the 15th, and I can tell you that this meeting is gonna go, I'm gonna say it might be done by 11:30. So just be cognizant of the fact that your work sessions are gonna have to be later, in the day, from now probably through budget time. I'll do my best to try to keep them compact, but this is
Let's
a
go.
really, yeah, yes, ma'am. So, just a reminder that there's no meeting next week. I believe that was an agenda item. Any questions on that? Okay, you all will be at the West Virginia Association of Counties annual meeting in Charleston. The next item I have for you is an update on all your maintenance issues. Just to give you a brief summary of where we are. Actually, yesterday we had H.E. Newman in to correct a air handler. Our air handler in the attic was going into alarm. I think we got that satisfied. It was too much outside air coming in, so I think we resolved that. The work at the animal shelter on the first, which was cleaning the coils and everything, we had them come back and redo some work, and that's complete. Today, we have H.E. Newman, who is going to finish up 2 projects. One is a valve replacement on your boilers in the annex, and the other one is the glycol. If you remember, glycol is something that we have to have so that the equipment doesn't freeze up and heat remains. So those are 2 jobs. That should, I don't even want to say it because something else will happen. That should, as far as outstanding tickets, that should help us. If you remember, I asked permission to move forward with repair of the sewer line at 911 into the septic tank. I've talked with Mr. Schreiber, and we're postponing that till spring for a variety of reasons. One is you're gonna have to cut the asphalt and dig it up, and now's not the, we're gonna end up with a cold patch, and nobody's making asphalt. So he does have us on his schedule for springtime.
Okay.
So, the price that, I think we're still good with the amount of money that we set aside for that. So that is the sewer project. As far as plowing, we did get our plow truck back. Seems to be operating well now. So I want to again thank the contractors that we had to go to in a really big hurry. And I know it was very kind of them to provide that service for us. The inventory that I had hoped to start in January, we're going to push that to March 1. Weather, the past couple of years, snow hasn't really been an issue for us. It looks like we're going to be hit with colder and more snowy weather. So rather than start it and have to interrupt it, we're going to push that to March 1st. Also on your courthouse project, we did have the Mills Group here who did a drone flyover. We had one issue because of snow on the roof. So they're gonna have to come back in and do another scan for us. But we hope to have that because that particular project is on a grant, and we wanna make sure that we get everything to history and preservation so that we can move forward with that one. Let's see if there's anything else on maintenance. One is, I want to have a discussion with the McGrew Society on a foundation issue down there, just to see where we are on that project. And I haven't been able to get a hold of Rosemary. So that's one that we'll be looking at. Also, if you remember, one of our projects before COVID was to readjust some dirt over at 911. I reached out to the hospital because they were our partner on that to seek that funding. So haven't heard back from them, but I'll get on that one. Okay, I think that's all I had on maintenance. Any questions?
Work session on our next meeting is, what was that?
Well, let me finish this.
Oh, I thought you said that's it. Okay.
Well, I've got miscellaneous correspondence, which is not miscellaneous correspondence, but what I'm going to use there is I have provided for you today a revised schedule for your work sessions on the budget.
Right.
I apologize, I have forgotten Central Garage. So what I'm doing is lumping them in when I present what your budgets. I'm going to put Dwayne there for his OEM. then I'll have him at 2:00 present his 911.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily go to Charleston, but it's always nice for us to know what's going on with that budget. So just a revision on that. Also, reminders are on your calendars. Well, let's back up. I started the budget work, started last week, so we're moving forward. Connie's been helping me, the clerk's office has been helping. So it's just that time of year that we're gonna have things ready for you. I need all your notebooks so that I can replace those pages. Our tentative schedule for all the budgets to go out to office holders is February 22nd. Also, they will get the same forms as we've had in the past with no objection. And that is any special projects, any requests for pay raises, any requests for additional personnel are to come separate and apart and not be put on the worksheets, not to elevate the worksheets in any way, okay? So those will go out on February 22nd, they'll come to Mary, and they should be back to Mary on March the 2nd. Looking at your calendar, don't forget that, to the best of my knowledge, Connie, we still have Board of Equalization Friday, is that correct? Okay, we do have one appointment on Board of Equalization.
10:30, right?
Yes, and on Friday morning, I'm going to meet with the circuit clerk and help her navigate a grant, so I'll be working with her. Next week, there's no meeting. However, I am going to meet with H.E. Newman about getting another contract for your consideration for the next budget year. Also, we have an IT meeting on Wednesday. We have a Board of Equalization on the 10th. We'll just wait to see if we have any takers for that. That is an evening one.
Yes.
So if something would happen that we would need immediate attention, I'll call a special meeting for that day so that you guys can handle that. The next week on the 14th is set aside for minerals. The 15th is a meeting day. Commissioner Smith has a solid waste authority meeting on the 16th. And we have Board of Equalization, our final Board of Equalization date is the 18th of February. Any questions for me?
All right, well, brings us to our commissioner comments. Dawn, do you have anything?
The only thing I did want to ask Dave, you sent an email about that EMS stuff. I wasn't sure exactly what you were asking, your question.
Oh, it's just materials we go. See, it's, to be open with the progress. Just as we're sending minutes out to you, that is, one of the discussions, the arrangement with the different ambulance services. That, what's really important right now is that we have the, work session on the funding,
I thought he was coming in March.
the ordinance.
That's what I thought he was coming.
I thought our next meeting with
Okay.
EMS was March.
Yeah,
Is that wrong?
for the guy that's gonna take care of the things, is that when he's coming, or is that what you're talking about?
No, I thought that the next, I have it in my notes that the next thing we were going to do work sessions on with EMS, Dr. Connie was coming
Right.
back
That would give
and,
enough time for some data.
right, for March.
Okay, so I just didn't want to be holding up on working through.
Or if you want to
some of
change
the
it,
things.
change it.
I think that this ordinance can be worked on generally, and then the specifics would, of whatever comes through. If we're gonna do an ordinance, then I think that probably reading about it and discussing it a little bit before then, because Dr. Conley comes and then it's gonna be April or May, and that's all.
Are you
That's why
want-
I was just saying if we could get to work for a few minutes.
Are you wanting are you wanting your ordinances? I have Hampshire County, I
Yeah.
have Hardin County. Are you wanting those sent to the
And
committee?
Jay said he looked at a few from around the state and, for this advisory group. And,
Well,
so,
why don't you and I talk and we'll
Yeah, that's fine.
regroup. I was holding till March.
yeah.
Yeah,
well, we
that was
can.
my understanding also, was
Okay.
Dr. Collins is gonna come back in March.
Maybe there's some work that the commissioner wants us inside to do to prepare for the March meeting.
I
I'll
just-
get with Dave.
I just didn't want there to be that indication that we were postponing it or procrastinating with it. I wanted to make sure that there's still stuff in the works for getting that done. Makes sense?
We may need to call some extra work sessions because, you've got these personnel items that really need to move forward
Yeah.
with advertising
Oh, we
and those kind
got
of
a ton of
things.
stuff, so
So,
I'm all about having an extra session.
Yeah, I mean-
so if you all would, help me out there and look at your calendars for the month of, February and also
Yeah, we could
the
probably,
first 2 weeks in March, because you start the budget and that, third week and full week in March is out. So, you just,
let's do that. I mean, if everybody's okay with that, we haven't talked about it for a while. And
if we can, I'll be happy to help in any way.
just to keep it moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
How about-
Well, I think it was still your turn.
Yeah,
You had a
I'm still
question.
there, and he asked me a question, and there it went.
Jeez.
The other thing is, I mean, I do want to, we need to make sure we work on this. I mean, Kathy's point is correct. We need to work on this job description. It's getting close with the budget
Yes.
stuff and everything, because if we're gonna have an overlap of 2 months, we need to get on this quick.
Sure.
That's all I have.
Commissioner Price?
I have a couple of things. Of course, we continue to do work with trying to make some sense of the EMS progress. I have a LEPC workshop that will be coming up, and that will be on February 17th in Mon County with the state LEPC folks. And I don't know if they're looking at a Cold War or what. It has to be with stuff that was from when I lived through the 60s and 70s, and now we're talking about the radiological stuff and everything again. So that's what apparently that is about. But the agenda is not real clear on that, so that was the indication I got. But anyway, that's just something that's come up. Had an LEPC meeting last week, and it's a good organization for troubled times.
Commissioner, I do have a couple other items. On the Marcus Water, I've been working on trying to get a meeting with Marcus Water. Looks like we're looking at the first week in March to get Region 6 there. My intention is to have some folks, if the weather is bad, rather than have them having to travel from Charleston, I'd like to have the meeting. I'll get with Dwayne about having it 911. We'll just zoom them in. I think it's really important that we move that project forward, and rather than waiting on the weather to cooperate, we'll do that. Also, on your PSD number 4 generator project, we do now have a schedule for a pre-bid and also bid opening. Your bid opening on that project is going to be March 1. So you'll see that on your schedule. So I think they're ready to move forward with getting those, I believe it's 4 or 5 generators for PSD number 4. Thank you.
Anything else, Dave? All right. Lots going on, for sure. We have I have an EDA meeting next week, and I'm going to, of course, be participating via Zoom because we will be in Charleston. I had a farmland protection meeting last week, and that's always a good meeting, very beneficial. There's some, preserving farmland is not always an easy decision on the landowner's part, but, if it's the right property, there's a lot of things that have to fall into place in order for people to be able to get that easement on their farms. And so I always want to encourage anybody that has any questions about that process to reach out to Ladina Teets with the Farmland Protection Board, because it is certainly a good program if your farm qualifies. Have also, we received some exciting news about the broadband grants that were awarded to the county, and so, or to in Preston County. And that's certainly going to help in advancing broadband in the county. I think one thing we have learned for sure is that, especially with COVID, kind of drove that home, is that we have to be connected. If we're going to grow, if tourism's going to grow, here in the county, we have to be able to get connected.
One item on that, since you're talking about ARPA money, we might want to consider one of your work sessions to regroup on that. You do have some ARPA requests out there. You have 3.2 million plus in the bank right now. You've committed 1.68, I think, for your broadband, but you do have some other requests. So I think now that the final rule is in and, your reporting is starting, that it's important that I know you have other requests. If I remember that perhaps there was one from Friends of the Chief, and I think there was also one from your Parks and Recreation.
Right.
So in that, I would like to set aside some time just to regroup on ARPA funds.
Okay. Last week on Thursday evening, of course, the showing of gratitude for the fallen soldier from Preston County was amazing. It's just still seems very surreal, the events that take place in our lives every day. And Kathy, our office had received, a contact, and we've actually been working with House of Delegate Representative Buck Jennings to work on getting the flags across the state of West Virginia lowered this coming week in coordination for the funeral. And that is a process. We are, by code, we cannot just lower our flag whenever we please. And so we are working very hard to make that happen across the state. So I don't think I have anything else today, but does anyone else have anything else before we adjourn? All right, then this meeting is adjourned.
You need anything from you, Ted?
Yeah, I'm just very concerned about that.
Well, I am too, and I talked to him a lot.